What are digital humanities? Let's decompose the word. In digital humanities, you have two words, digital plus humanities. Digital systems represent information using discrete values, typically 0, 1, 0, 1, etc., etc. By opposition, analog systems represent information using a continuous function, like this one. So the word digital comes from digit and digitus, finger in Latin. This is because fingers are used for discrete counting. But we'll see that this relationship between the hand and the word digital is actually also an interesting one. Now, let's consider the humanities. It's a general word that describes many disciplines. Ancient and modern languages, literature, history, philosophy, religion, visual and performing arts, anthropology, area studies, communication studies, cultural studies, law, linguistic, etc. Scholars that work in the humanities are called humanists. But be careful, this is different from the humanist in the philosophical sense. You may actually have situations where humanists are not necessarily humanists, in the sense of Erasmus being a humanist. Digital humanities is a new word. If you look at Google Trends, you'll see actually that it started appearing in searches in 2005 or 2006, and it's more and more important since then. If you look at the geographical representation of where the search occurred, you see that it's essentially a word that is used in the States, in Canada, in the UK, and in continental Europe, essentially in Germany. And it developed from an earlier field called humanities computing. Again, if you look at Google Trends, you see that humanities computing is a word that was used, in fact, in 2004, 2005, but since then it's decreasing and decreasing over time. Humanities computing was about applying computational approaches to humanities research questions, basically using the tool of computer science to help humanities in answering various research questions. But one consequence of the use of digital method in the humanities was the evolution of the traditional disciplinary frontiers. And this is a general principle that we will see over and over again in many examples. Digital processes dissolve frontiers and standardize content. Various disciplines discovered that they were dealing with similar objects and methods, database, pattern recognition, etc. Some researchers felt humanities computing could become a discipline in its own right, hence it deserves a new name, digital humanities. Let's take a side note. How do we translate digital humanities in other languages? Let's have a look at the French versus Swiss French debate on that subject. The official translation of digital in French is numérique, so many French researchers use the term humanité numérique. In French-speaking Switzerland, the term humanité digitale is preferred because of the rich reference to digitus, the finger, and the related concept of doigté, for instance. Digital humanities include a lot of hands-on approach, and you may say that these are humanities that you do not only with your brains, but also with your fingers. Anyway, time will tell which term will be preferred by the French-speaking community, but it's an interesting case of a linguistic competition. Now, let's finish by looking at a related concept, digital studies. A philosopher like Bernard Stiegler argues that the term digital humanities is too narrow and that the effect of digitalization go beyond the field of humanities to affect all the knowledge field. He prefers the term digital studies by opposition to analog studies. He argues that the effect of digitalization must also be studied on fields like physics, biology, geology, and other natural sciences. So let's finish with a quiz. Digital studies include digital humanities. Is that true or false? Humanities computing is a younger field than digital humanities. Is that true or is that false?